Jake is very much here among us today, and he would be very proud of everything that happened here. He'd be very proud of all the work that he heard of and all of the work of everybody in the room. He would be very proud of this tweet. We just collected some of the tweets from people throughout the week. Rahul said that that Cecilia's talk shook that reflexive, jaded DC cynicism. That's exactly what Jake was trying to do. I think had he lived, he would be the lead candidate in what Mika Sifry calls the get shit done party. Let's get rid of that cynicism. He would be proud, I think, that Cecilia said that digital disruption was the most transformative thing she'd seen in 8 years of government. He's here. Oh, there you are, Mika. He'd be proud of that, and I'm proud of that. Some more reflections from the week from all of you. Thank you. I think this was Molly's thing. Go forth with humility. We will do that coming out of here. Thank you, Reed, for those lines. A lot of innovation is just iteration. That's why we just get up in the morning and start doing it again. There's no magic to this, really. This is, again, about outcomes. This is about our children needed better and deserve better. So many of these projects are truly about getting something for people who really need it, and especially in California, to do it for the kids. And the opportunity in front of us that was so clearly a theme throughout all of day one and into day two, policymaking. That's been the thing this year. How does tech relate to policymaking? And once again, Tom Loosemore said it so well, though so did everybody else. But he asked this question: why is policymaking still educated guesswork with a feedback loop measured in years? And he talked about this moment in time when he had a glimpse of that future, when he saw his policy team and his tech team working together on those weekly iterations. And his policy people came to him and said, I think I'm realizing that this policy is 600 pages of untested assumptions. Let's put it aside and work together to really solve the problem. And that was a wonderful moment for him. But he also shared that it was a bit of a fleeting moment. Things changed in the UK. And I think what I'd like to say is that when any one of us who's doing this work makes it down the field a bit and then needs to stop and needs to put down the baton because things have changed, because we found that politician, but then that politician wasn't there, or something in the landscape changed, that one of the other of us picks it up. And here's what I have to say about picking it up. I heard a story just the other night from Mina Shang. She runs the digital service team for Health and Human Services. She told me about the way that they built the regulations for something called the Quality Payment Program. It's an implementation of the Affordable Care Act that will improve care across the country. It impacts 1 million clinicians who accept Medicare. So that's 60 million Americans, representing 4% of our GDP, and they needed to implement the regs. So what they did is that the team took an MVP, they read the policy, they built a minimum viable product of what it said, they tested it with users, they invited the policy team in to see if it was working the way they hoped, and it turned out it needed a little bit of work. So they went through several rounds of iteration where the CMS teams, Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services teams, were able to bridge the disconnect between how they thought the program and rules would affect the users and how they actually did. And they didn't ship the regulations until they had done all these iterations. So the regulations, when they came out, were actually tested in implementation, and they're now more understandable. They allow doctors to know if they are successfully submitted data in real time and provide feedback that actually helps them improve performance and take better care of Americans. So Mina and her team have picked up that baton, and that's really what I'm here to say. When we talk about, we've been talking about this, it starts with user needs, it goes into software and operation, but we're finally getting to that policy layer. And there are all these wonderful, great examples of it. And that's what I mean about, and I think that's what Lori means, and that's what Jake meant about cultivate the cuirass. For a really long time, actually since last year, Cultivate the Karass has been the only sticker on my laptop. I know, you'd think I have a million stickers on my laptop. I don't, I just had the one. And what I meant by it was exactly that. Same. Thanks, Mika. That's what I meant by it, is that none of us is on some linear trajectory to go from point A to point Z of success. We all get a little bit, we move the ball down the field, we stumble, and it's not necessarily our fault. It's that the circumstances we're working in change. And it's the Karass that says, here's who's going to pick up the ball next and move it forward. And since we're just a couple days out from the election, I hope we all understand that many of us are working in contexts that are going to change. I'm not talking about the big change that many of us have talked on stage, the potentially apocalyptic change. I'm talking about all of the little changes where the people who are giving you air cover aren't there anymore. And that's when you look around to the Karass and you say, who's picking up this baton next? Because I know I'm getting it back in a little while. That's the Karass. I also did add this sticker the other day that Matt Weaver gave me. He said, I brought you a sticker, Jen. I said, I don't put other stickers on my laptop. He showed me the sticker. I was like, put it on my laptop. No one is coming. It is up to us. They conflict. I get it, because somebody is coming. But what we mean is, really, at the end of the day, no one is going to solve these problems for us. It is our community that's going to have to take care of this together. I'm going to leave you with a last tweet. Jonathan Betts, a big supporter of Code for America. I don't think he's here this week, but sorry, Jonathan, if you are, I didn't see you. Jonathan tweeted this last night. It's supposed to be hard. The hard is what makes it great. Of course, he was talking about the Cubs game. But thank you, Brandon, for bringing it back. This applies to GovTech too. Hustle hard, Civic Tech, CFA Summit. That's exactly right. It is supposed to be hard. We are in this together, and it is up to us. So I am finally going to say goodbye to you all and let you go and have a nice drink. And I want you to remember that you're coming back next year. I hope I see many of you between now and next year. But you're going to come back here next year, and I want you to come back with your story of how you picked up the baton and ran that next bit of the race. My staff teases me all the time because I mix up sports metaphors really, really badly. Ball down the field, baton is in a race. But the point is, you know what I'm saying. It's your job now to pick that up and move it forward and come back and tell us next year, because that is our work together. It's supposed to be hard. We are in this together, and it is up to us. Thank you for being here this week. And Kat, come on out here. Good job. Thanks, everybody.
All right.